You're now listening to So You Were Saying
with Dora and Lex.
Tune in every Friday for the latest episode.
Hey, guys.
Hey, you are now tuned in to another episode of So You Were Saying with your host,
Dora.
and Lex. Yeah, we got to work on that. It's season 3 and we still don't know. Like,
I don't care.
all right. Got it. Shut me up. Shut me up.
Let it be what it's going to be.
Anyways, we even have a topic for this episode. You guys, we're doing this episode on the whim, okay?
Or AKA free balling.
Free balling.
No, it's not really a free ball. Honestly, as of right now, in my head, the topic is, or the episode is titled Change, but it might change. So don't hold us to it.
Don't hold us to that. So if you're listening to this and the topic says something else, just ignore it. Just
Act like you don't know.
Right. Just go with it. But anyways, change. What are we talking about?
Honestly, we're just talking about our life on this one. I feel like so many things have honestly changed from the point in time of us starting this project to what we
so
and
much.
who we are now. It's just like sometimes I'm like, damn, how
did we get here?
How Sway? Like, how has this all happened? So let's just bring it back. When did we start this topic? Like, when did we even start this? This became a thought process by our lonesomes in 2020, at least for myself.
Yeah.
Right. And then we didn't actually when was the first day that we even released an episode? That was in
September? No.
October, I think.
One of those.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Or we don't even know. Because what's calendar? What's the schedule?
It's like, the way that the time is blinking by, I can't keep up anymore.
Right.
But a lot has definitely changed. You know, if you've been talking to me lately, then you know that my saying right now is nothing in life is certain but change and death.
That is pretty much it.
That has been my thing, no lie, for the past couple months. It's just like change and death. That's the only thing guaranteed in this life. So stop holding yourself to everything else.
Right.
And that's what I've been telling myself because life has been so just on the move yet stuck for me, if that makes sense.
And that's what I was about to say. And this is what earlier when we were speaking over the phone, I told you, I was like, I feel like I'm doing so much and getting nowhere.
Right. Yeah, literally.
That is just my life right now. I feel like I have so many plates that I'm juggling, but I see no results of anything.
They're all just empty plates at this point.
It's just, oh no, there's stuff on it because I know I have to run back and forth, dodge stuff, make changes. So there's definitely like things on it. It's just, I feel like I'm not getting any.
So you're just going nowhere fast?
Correct.
Yeah.
It's just, and honestly, I think it's funny because everything, I'm a big believer, everything happens for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just, I think the universe's way of me catching COVID right after Christmas was the way of the universe saying, like, stop moving for 2 seconds, like take this break and mentally analyze everything.
Right.
But at the same time, the universe on the different hand threw all this other crap in my like on my plate. And I'm like, okay, so I'm dealing with death and I'm dealing with illness and I'm dealing with, emotions and I'm dealing with depression and I'm dealing with, like all these things. And I'm like, so how is this supposed to be a break?
Yo.
That's how I feel.
It's just like, what is happening?
And I don't think it's just us. That's my thing. I don't think it's just us.
No, I feel like it's I like honestly, I feel like it's the world in some sense.
Right.
Like everyone in their own way is experiencing exactly what we're feeling right now.
Are they?
And for me,
let's all hold hands.
Right. Can we just all kumbaya? Can we please? Because I don't know. For me, it's not so much that I'm dealing with a lot. Like I am, but that's not where my thing is at. My thing is really being stuck because, since having my daughter and then taking the year to recover, right? I still don't know how people go back to work right away. I will never understand it. Like,
right.
Ever. It took a year for me to really feel normal again. But in this normalcy that I feel, I still feel stuck and lost. Like not normal, if that makes sense.
And lost as
like I was a certain person before I became a mom, right? I was a certain type of individual, whether I was always working or just always on the move, always traveling, something, right?
Right.
since being a mom, that completely died down, right? Where I don't work anymore, not a regular 9 to 5 at least. And then I don't travel as much.
Right.
So it's just now that I feel a little normal, like I am ready to work again and travel again, it's like, but how? Like I'm at the
Mhm.
but how stage because realistically, I'm not comfortable with my daughter being with anyone other
Mhm.
than myself and, her father and you. But like, really,
Mhm.
like, still, like, no one who can have her full time. I'm not comfortable with anybody having her.
Right.
For me to be like, okay, I'm going to jump back into travel or work. It just, so now I'm like at this point where it's like,
What do I do?
what do I do? Like, I need to make some type of sacrifice and some type of decision as to where to go, but I don't know which way I want to go.
Right.
That's where I'm at right now.
Mhm.
And it's just it sucks because I mean, obviously in life there you need of certain things obviously to enjoy other things in life,
Mhm.
right? So it's just like what do I want to do? What do like am I comfortable where I am and am I going to stay where I am or am I going to just like make a decision to do something else? But then in the back of my head it's just like I don't know if I could do something else because I'm so tied to what I was doing before, if that makes sense.
Right. And that's uh, honestly, I think now being in my 30s, I've really come to, I guess, like an evaluation of my life of figuring out, like, am I actually living my life?
Right.
Because it's just one of those things of, if you know me in, the personal Dora sense, I am somebody that is very much involved in within my family. Like I am, we have many things going on.
Yes, she is.
It's just I am that person. And it's a weird thing because turning 30 has made me evaluate exactly like where my time and energy has been allocated,
Mhm.
and coming into that sense of just like, okay, well, did I always appropriately use my time, money, energy? The answer is no. The answer
Just in
is
case you were
no. Yeah,
wondering.
just in case. The answer is no. But at the same time, it's just like with everything going on that's happening within my family, I feel like I should be nowhere else and I don't want to be anywhere else but with them. Right? But at the same time, it's just like it's I guess it's just figuring out the balance in life, right?
Mhm.
Of where I can be there and be supportive and be present in the moment that I have to be with my family,
But still be Adora.
but still be Dora and be able to get everything and do everything that we need to do. So that's why I think starting the podcast was such a great escape because it gave me something that I genuinely enjoy doing,
Mhm.
but at the same time, it's just like, given the circumstances that have happened recently in my household, I'm just like, so now I'm having to make sure that, we're now in this. Like, we
Right.
can't just like pull the plug, and there's money invested and there's,
Mhm.
things that are, whatever, and projects that are being done. And I'm just like, damn. So I technically just added another responsibility to yet a whole
A
bunch of
whole
them.
plate that or yeah. Yeah.
Right. And it's
Mhm.
just kind of like, well, did I do the right thing? I don't know. It's just so like I'm
That if I did the right thing has it's also something that's like lingered in my head lately too. If I did the right thing or if I'm doing the right thing. That is
about what?
that is like
Going back to work and stuff?
no, just life in general, like
Mhm.
in every aspect of my life, whether it's been my relationship,
Mhm.
my, family ship, I call it, like, my
Family
relationship
ship.
with my family, right?
Right.
um, as a mom, as a
Mhm.
person, it's just like, I don't know if I did that right, or I don't know if I do this, is this right or is this wrong?
Mhm.
And that's why it's been such a stuck thing for me because I never used to be a person who lived in fear.
Mhm.
But however, since having my daughter, it's fear has played such a huge part in every decision that I've made. I
Right.
used to be a go person, like, It
Mhm.
was like, I'm spending this money, 2 G's for a flight, say less, I'm out of here. Like,
Right. Mhm.
I can't pay my rent, I'll figure it out,
Right.
Like, literally that was me. Now it's just like, I don't know if I should do this. Is this the right move? Maybe I
Right.
shouldn't do that. I don't know. I don't know. Like, it's just a I don't know, and I hate it. Like, I do not like that part of myself that has come to because it's just like I care too much, not just about what other people think of me now, but how I think of everything else, if that makes any sense. I
Right.
probably just lost y'all a bit, but
I think
That's where I'm at. 'Cause it's just like, "Oh, but
It's
you're a mom. You're a mom. You're a mom." And I'm like, "I am a mom.
right.
Like, I got that."
I think you and again, I can only speak from an outside perspective because we all know Dora doesn't have a child. Um, but it's a difficult one, right? Because I feel like when it comes to being a parent, parents are always under that spotlight of whether you did do the right thing or you didn't do the right thing. Because it's just like, unfortunately, your children will always be a reflection, quote unquote, right, of
Right, of
your
decisions that you
parenting
made.
skills
Mhm.
and everything that you did. And I mean, to a certain extent, yes, but sometimes it's no, because honestly, like, as sitting here as an adult, like, did I follow every instruction given, and did I follow? I was set up pretty well, and I can tell you, no, I did not follow that structure to a T. I can show you somebody that sure shares half my DNA that did, but I didn't.
Right.
And am I reaping some of the benefits or some of the consequences because of those decisions? Hell yes. But it's okay. Um, but the thing that I guess trips me up with this whole situation is I feel like I don't do enough. And yet I've realized through commentary recently from family members, they do actually acknowledge that I do a lot.
Yeah.
And because some of the comments that I've heard is just like, We don't know where we would be without you." Like,
Mhm.
and I
You
and I
do a lot,
and
bro.
I'm just like shocked. It was just like it was so funny because when I had COVID, like the one running joke is like, "Oh my god,
What are
COVID's
we
gonna."
gonna do?
Right,
COVID's gonna take over because Dora's got COVID.
right. No. It was just like one of those things like COVID's gonna take. Oh, COVID can't take Dora because God knows where we're going next. You know what I mean? But in the sense of it, I'm just like, "Oh, okay." Like, that's weird because usually when I'm doing things, I'm like, in
You
my
don't
head,
feel
I'm like,
appreciated.
"These bitches are not doing, whatever." I was like, and they're not appreciative of what I'm doing and
Right.
my time. But then again, it's just like, "Oh, okay. So y'all really think I'm this strong. Okay. So
Mm.
yeah, okay."
So you haven't paid attention over the years.
I was like, "Okay, interesting." And I'm like, in my head, I'm like,
But what would you change about
I
like
would require so much therapy.
what Yeah.
Go ahead. What happened?
What would you change? Like like you said, you wanna find a balance where you're still doing everything that you need to do for your family, but for yourself as well. What would you change so that way you're more? Because I know you and you're more family focused than Dora focused.
Right. And honestly, like, if and it's weird because I don't want, like, I'm not the type of person, but if I had to say something and like had to change something, the one thing that I would have done is actually followed the plan set forth by the parentals. Like, I would have done it their way. I would have gone to school right away, you know, gotten my degree in
Whatever.
whatever degree was going to generate money,
Right.
and would have taken that and then just gone from there. Because
Really?
having that stability financially, and by no way, shape, or form am I saying that I'm not financially stable, but
Say
like,
sis is financially okay, okay? She be
no,
out here with
I'm not.
Starbucks every day. That's all I'm saying.
That's not financial stability, but
People who aren't financially stable, they ain't out here buying Starbucks every day. That's all I'm
all
saying.
right,
$5 for a
I'm
coffee.
not. That's not me. Stop. Um, not every
Not
day.
every day, but
And
sometimes.
sometimes people pay for my Starbucks.
I
Anyways,
can't.
learn to be a choppy, by the way. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. But honestly, that's something that I would have done, and just, not because I'm saying that that would have made me, because you want to know what it is, having that finance, because again, I still
You're
work a
getting
nine.
stuck.
Yes, I work a 9 to 5, right, to be able to give money to everything else that I need to, right.
Mhm.
But that 9 to 5 necessarily isn't where my heart is.
Right.
But that 9 to 5 only produces but so much. So
Uh-huh.
I'm capped with that 9 to 5 until I can make all of these other functions that I have going on
Mhm.
and all of these other businesses generate enough where I can say, you want to know what? I don't need the 9 to 5. Thank you so much for the opportunity, but I'm out.
Right.
Right. Having a different type of career would have allowed me to generate a lot more revenue for myself without having to necessarily dedicate as much time. And
Mhm.
that's the difference of where it is. And that's why I'm saying like, "Oh, okay, I would have stepped in and done that."
But do you
Because
feel like you would have known everything that like, I don't feel like
would I have been the same person? Hell no.
right, and that's why I'm just like,
Right.
I don't think I would have done any of it differently.
And that's why I don't like going backwards or saying like the coulda, shoulda, wouldas, because honestly, like I don't think that if had I not experienced the things that I experienced in my life, I've said this before. I don't think that I would be as nice of a person as I am now. And that to me is like a big flex.
Just
Like
that's a
me be
big flex.
that's a
You're in
big
a
flex.
big flex.
Capital
Yo,
FLEX.
big
Big
flex.
flex. Like, it's like, yes. No, like for me, it's just me being who I am and like who I've become as a person is probably like the biggest flex that I have. Like people
Right.
are like, "Oh, I have money." And I'm like, "I am me."
Hear me roar.
It's just
I
like
am
I am
me.
me. Like I am very much content and being who I am. Like I think it's like Dora's pretty dope. Like
I can't.
she's cool. Like and
Dora's the bee's knees, guys.
that at
She's the
least to
bee's knees.
myself, I am. And that's what I'm saying, like, because of that, but that came through a whole line of, like, a lot of struggle to get to this self-love that I have for myself now. But, I mean, there are places where I think that there's shortcomings, but
Okay, so then let's
yeah.
get back to the change of it all, of what you're going to change and what you want to change to get to whatever it is that you want to be.
But that's what I'm saying, like, there isn't for me right now, it's just working on all of my side projects until my side projects can give me what I need. And, I mean,
So
as
that's the
far
only thing
as
in your life that you feel like you want to focus on to change.
I mean, aside from, the continuous always like evolution, I'm working on myself as far as like binge eating and that, that I'm working on and making sure, that I'm uh, continuous like continuously being positive and learning different tactics of making sure that my happiness like one of the things that I've realized in my 30s is that with certain situations I have not been selfish enough.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm dipping into that, but it's also like kinda like a back and forth because I'm just like, okay, like you know you need to be more selfish, but at the same time you feel bad being selfish,
Mm-hmm.
but you know that you need to be more selfish.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
I'm selfish, so I don't know.
So
I don't live that
that's
life. I used to live that life. I don't live like I'm selfish. Yep, I'm selfish with my time. I'm selfish with my energy. I'm selfish with my conversations.
mhm,
I'm selfish with anything pertaining to myself.
right,
Because at the end of the day, I cannot keep giving, 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 giving when I ain't got nothing to give.
right.
So I'm selfish. I don't live that life no more. Y'all ain't getting me. Y'all ain't gonna have me out here in these streets looking crazy.
Like, but I mean that took time to realize. It took time that it was so depleting to who I am and and everything like. But I don't think I necessarily failed as a person. I just think that there's a lot of like I just need to hone in and focus.
I think we're gonna call this episode the venting session.
Oh God. Dear
No,
Lord.
seriously. Like I feel like this is not okay. My thing is I feel like this is a good episode. I just don't feel like it's an episode that is really about change per se. But I feel like it's
We've mentioned nothing that we've
that's why I keep trying to go back. I'm like Adora, but about change. But then I'm listening and I'm just like, you know what? This is a very therapeutic episode.
Mhm.
This could be the therapeutic venting session, whatever you want to call it. But I feel
Mhm.
like it's something that should still be put out, but not necessarily something that's of value to anyone else other than ourselves. Like some people could find it valuable, but I know for me personally, right now, this is a very valuable conversation just for us.
No, yeah, I agree.
So
And
if y'all listening to this, you know, shout out to
pray
y'all
for
for making
us.
it this far. But nah, not for nothing. It's just kind of just like it needed to. This is a conversation that needed to be had. This is like one of those things that we probably would have had off the air if we weren't trying to actually record an episode. But here we are sharing it with y'all. So yeah,
Sorry, I just made a
Dora
lot of
almost
noise.
fell. Dora almost fell.
Just because,
Just
I had to
FYI.
get comfortable. But no, I mean, it's a I don't I can't I don't think we're the only ones going through this.
No, absolutely not. Which is why I said it's possible that somebody could still find value in it, but right now I feel like it's just valuable for us because one, we haven't seen each other in forever,
We
and
haven't.
then two, we haven't really talked in forever because the whole COVID or whatever, and just life.
Mhm.
So I feel like this is a conversation that we just needed to have. But if I'm being honest, like I that's where I'm at as far as life, just being stuck and figuring it out and things like that. But I don't really know like if it's a change per se. Like I know I need to make a change, but I haven't quite figured out. Like
what that
I'm still
changes.
in like I want to be able to give value to them, but realistically I can't give them any value because I'm still trying to figure it out myself right now.
Right.
It's just like I'm still going through this. This is an active issue in my life that I'm trying to resolve.
Okay, so let's just be transparent. Like right now, this all came about, I think, since like really like October for me. And this sense of many spinning plates, not going anywhere, really came about because October and November were just rough months.
Oh, December was a rough one.
December actually got better for me. Just mentally, I was just better. But it was a lot of realizing that I'm going into a different, I don't want to say decade because it's not necessarily because of a specific time frame that has gone by, but there's a different stage of my life that I'm going into. And that just happens to be because I'm actively okay.
Okay, I see tears forming. She's about to cry, and I'm trying to figure out why because I definitely don't know this time.
So this is just came about because I had a conversation with my mother and, about making sure you live your life.
Mhm.
And that conversation came about because in my household, we're actively losing my grandfather. So it's just like we know that people do not live forever. But when you're living the life of, and when a lot of your life has been the past couple of years of taking care of someone that whose life is ending, you don't realize how much time you invest in that
Mhm.
and just having to be present because they require everything from you. And now that it's just kind of like coming to an end, I don't know, like something clicked in my head that, and with my mom making that statement, like just make sure that you can enjoy and live your life. And I'm like, have I actually been doing that? And that's where, the whole conversation came about. And it's just like, I am the next generation. Like, my number has been called. Like, you know, my parents' generation within our household, like, they're now the new old people. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
they are the new old people. Like, I have no other grandparent past him.
Mhm.
So it's just like, my parents have entered that retirement age, even though they're not retired as of yet. But I mean, like, it's soon to come. Like, it's really like this is a time where they don't need as much help anymore.
Mhm.
And I'm just kind of like sitting here like, okay,
What's next?
what's next?
Mhm.
Right. And I'm just like, damn. Like my life for a very long time has been protect the bag, protect the family, protect the bag, protect the family.
Mhm.
And the jobs that I've held have constantly been tedious ones that are just like very consuming. Like when I was working for the facility, 10 years of like damn near 10 years of my life went to a job that required you to be on shift 24/7.
Yeah.
I
So
don't even know how we even made it through that, to
yeah,
be
I don't
completely
know.
honest.
That's why I'm not attached to my phone now because I used to hate that. Hate it.
But I mean, we did it and I did it
Mhm.
for even
And you did it longer
longer.
than I did. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So
Okay.
it's just kind of like I'm in this place where it's just like there's so much opportunity and I feel like there's so many things and everything is I feel great. Like I'm not, obviously tears were released because it's just a difficult moment that I'm having to go through, but I'm not sad. I'm very optimistic, but I'm also very much not pinpointed in any specific direction.
And that for me is the problem.
Right.
I am not pinpointed in a specific direction, and I want to be because I feel like if I focus on the goal, then the goal will be accomplished.
Right.
But if you don't know the goal and you're not set with a plan,
Mhm.
then you're literally just like rolling through life.
And that's what it is. It's like kind of like a Dory. Like for the longest time, it was just
Just
like
keep
just keep
swimming, just
swimming.
keep
Yeah,
swimming. Literally,
that's
like
just
the
what it
theme
is.
song. Just keep swimming, swimming,
Right.
swimming.
And I feel like
Because it's just
time is just going by. And then at the
mm-hmm.
same time, it's just like, I don't know. And it's just like weird little things that will just like click this idea in my head of, am I lost? because,
Literally.
because
Right?
yeah, I'm telling you, like there was this guy that I was talking to. We're going to call him the Marriott because
The Marriott, like the hotel.
like the hotel.
I'm dead. Okay.
Because homie worked there.
Oh. Okay.
That's his name, the Marriott. But he was like, "So what do you do?" And I like explained, like this is what
I
I
hate
do.
that question. Like
No,
at this stage right now in my life, I hate that question. Before
right,
I always had an answer.
right,
And now I'm like, I'm a stay-at-home mom. Like, what do you do? Like, I'm like, what do you want from me?
right.
I'm a mother.
But no. But what I'm saying is, even when you have something to say, which I did, I had something to say. I was like, okay, this is my 9 to 5. This is my side business. This is my other side business. Oh, and this is my podcast. Right? Like,
Right.
I have
But
things to say,
it's not that
but
you don't, but it's like, but where are you going?
right. But that's what I'm saying. It's just like people are, but no, but with him in particular, he said, okay, well, that's a lot of things that involve your family. And he was the one that pointed out, he was like, so do you think that you can actually find someone? Because again, this is in the dating door, right? Do you think that you can actually find someone when you're so involved with so many things? Like, how do you find time? And honestly, it was like the most annoying thing because it was such a like trigger for me. And then my whole response was like, well, you find time for what you want. Right? Like that was like snarky comment back because that's how I felt. I'm like, mind your business. Like
It's like, but we're dating.
it gets done when it get, like everything gets done. Like don't worry about how I make it happen, even if I'm
I
recording
don't
at
know.
nighttime.
For me, I feel when it comes to dating with that and that aspect, I feel like I want someone who's busy. I want someone who's busy.
Right,
If you have time to be at my ass 24/7, we have a problem.
right. And that's how I feel like now. That's why it's just like it's so funny. Like at some point in my life, I was like, oh, like finding a man without children was like a main goal. But
Mhm.
like now I'm like, maybe I fit in better with a man with a child.
Maybe your children taking up some of your time is a good
Yeah, because I'm
thing.
just like, I just realistically I don't have a lot of time. And for a greater deal of my time, like I mean now it was involved with helping with the care of my grandfather.
Mhm.
And now it's just like now that we're in it and like it's at a stage of hospice at this point, it's just kind of like, okay. Like I know that that wasn't his point to point out, but I'm
Right.
like, did who am I? Like who am I? Who am I? Like without having these responsibilities to my family, like who is Dora to Dora?
So we're basically we're in the same stage, you and I.
Yeah,
The difference is that I have a child and you have your family. That's that.
my
I
family
mean,
is my
they're
child.
both family, right? But my point is like, I actually have a little human to take care of, and you
You
have like
made a
big.
human.
Right? I made a human, and you have humans already.
I
Like
have humans.
we have big humans
Yes.
that that you are in charge of,
Right.
for lack of better words.
Yes. They all have their own brains.
Right, but like you get my point. It's just like
Right.
it's the same thing, and that's literally where I'm at. Who am I outside of this title, outside of this responsibility, outside of this? Who is this person? Who am I? Literally, that is. Oh my god, that should be the topic.
Who am I?
Who am I? Because that's what I'm trying to figure out in my life right
Spoiler
now.
alert. We still don't know the answer.
You guys are gonna figure it out with us on this podcast because I swear this is what we're gonna be talking about.
And even when it comes to like stuff like the podcast, right? So it's just like everything's kind of like hot and cold. Like I feel like we've pushed enough like where we have our little like so you were saying fam that's like
Mm-hmm.
true blue,
Right.
right? But then also at the same time and I'm like why don't we have
Why
more?
don't we have more? What's going
It's just
on, you guys?
like why don't
Do
we
you
have
not
more?
love us?
It's just like one of those things. So it just always, I don't know, like when it comes to the podcast, I'm like, it feels so good. But I'm like, again, we're not going to be able to to do it without people. So I'm like, Do you people not care? Like, do you not love us? But it's just it's weird and the
It's a
same
lot.
thing. But that's why it's just like I do definitely know that I have to get back to like a workout routine
Mhm.
because the one thing that I will say is when and that's why some people that are like obsessed with like working out and stuff like that because that's the one place where you kinda see the results, you know what I mean? Like, you put in the
Mhm.
work and you see the result,
Mhm.
even sometimes even if it takes a little bit longer, but there's always something. There's
Right.
an inch, there's a shirt that fits different, there's a
Mhm.
like, "Oh, look at that jawline," you know? Like,
Right.
there's always something, but again, I don't want that to be, like I get, like, stuck on stuff. Like, I've
Mhm.
realized that, like, through my life, I get stuck on stuff. I get stuck on people, I get stuck on, a journey, I get stuck
Mhm.
on whatever. I wanna figure out what the Dora stuck on thing is, like, what me really is.
Mhm.
And I don't know, I haven't figured that out yet.
Gem of the day. We still working on it.
We still working on it. We don't know who the hell we are. It's like we don't.
No.
But at the same time,
Does anybody?
does anybody? I feel like certain people do though.
Absolutely. They found their is it niche? Their niche? Their niche? I'm out here still without a niche, okay?
Right,
Like, and that's like a big part of like where my stuck lies because for me, for such a long time with social media, it was always Herbalife. It was
right,
always, always, always Herbalife. And everybody keeps asking me, like, you still do Herbalife? I'm like, yeah. I don't see you promote it anymore. And I'm just like, there's been so many changes in my life, in my body, in my whatever, that I'm a person that I can't fake it.
right,
Like when I was doing what needed to get done, I was really in it.
right.
And when I got pregnant and so many things changed for my body, that was a big part of what changed.
Mhm,
And so like now I'm at a stage where I'm like, where's my niche? My
mhm.
niche or whatever the word is, or freak the word is.
Niche,
Sorry.
sure. I think
Right.
you could pronounce
I don't
several
I
words.
don't know. I don't know. Because
Niche.
everybody's always saying it differently. So I'm just like, I don't know, which whatever.
When I
But
saw it, hold on to interrupt, but when I saw it, I was like, "Nietzsche?" I was like
I'm telling you, it's still a word that I would never like, I don't know. I don't know how to pronounce it, you guys.
it's not
But my
pronounced Nietzsche,
point
by the
is,
way.
it's like that's why I feel so lost
Mhm.
because everyone that knows me holds me to that person,
Right.
to that fitness person, to that health person. And I'm over here like, where do I go from here?
Mhm.
Because for the past year now, it's been just at a standstill.
Mhm.
And a part of me is like, I don't know if that's what I want to hone in on anymore.
Right.
Right? Like I don't know if I want that to fully be my niche or my
Right.
niche because
Or your
of
Nietzsche.
because of different things that have happened in my life.
Right.
And then it's like, but if I go to do something else, am I gonna lose my tribe?
Right.
Like,
And that's the thing, and that's very
and it's
much
like
true.
they're gonna judge me. Oh,
Mhm.
you're a fraud, you're a fake, you're this, you're that. And it's just like, but that's not the case. There are just so many layers that people don't know about yet. I haven't disclosed it yet, right? That's definitely something that
Mhm.
I'll talk about in a later episode. But it's just like that I don't know what to do.
And I think that but yeah, that's the whole thing, like, I see those people that it's just like, "Oh, I'm a doctor. I'm an accountant. I'm a nurse."
Right.
I'm a whatever, and it's just like Dora, and it's like, "But I'm a this, and I'm a that, and I'm a this, and I'm a that," and
It's
I'm
just
like,
like,
"Okay." But, again, I think that just has to do with mentality, right? Because we're always like, I guess the social norm is that you're one thing, right?
I don't feel like people necessarily need to be one thing.
But that's what I'm saying. I think the reason, or at least for me, like, I think who I am is multi-layered, and it will always be multi-layered. Like, I was never that child to ever like, I always used to joke, I'm like, "Okay, if A to B was the most direct route," Dora said, "but you got GHLIJK," and just went that way. And I would just go around and I'm like, "Oh, here's B." Because I've just been that kid, like, it was just me, but at the same time, I'm just like, "Okay, well, we have to still hone in somewhere because something has to be the most
The
lucrative
right,
thing to generate everything else. Because again, I'm not gonna be young forever,
right.
but, I don't know, like, I and it's weird because I know, like, time is always going by, and it's not that I feel like I'm running out of time because I'm still very young, we know this. But at the same time, sometimes it feels like I'm running out of time.
Because I'm because I feel like we're young and we're old at the same time. At least for me. Like I feel like I'm old enough where I should be at a certain stage, but I'm still young enough that it's like, bro, what are you even talking about? Like, you don't even need to be worried about that right now. But in my head, it's like, but I should be there. But then it's like, but I have so much time to live my life.
I think for me, it definitely has to be do with experience. In my short lifespan, I've gone through situations, and then I'm telling you this because I've sat with like 40, 50, and again, they're not old. I'm not saying that. But I've sat with
There's
like
older people.
40 and 50-year-old divorcees, and I was like, honey.
Let
And
me
they were
tell
like,
you about it.
let me tell you. And they were like, really? And I like, girl, that was my life. And I was like, yeah, that was my
Mhm.
life at 25. I was like, and they were like, what? And I was like, and again, it's life decisions. It was all me. I can point nowhere else. But it's just that's just that.
I don't know. I feel like we have time, but life is just so unpredictable that
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to waste the time that we do have.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And that's why I really just want to try to figure out who I am and where I want to go because I don't want to keep letting time fly by and I'm running around like a chicken with a head cut off,
Right.
just aimless. So I really want to pinpoint the direction in which I want to go and just go.
Mm-hmm.
That's like my 2022 goal. Because life is all like I said, life is always changing. Because at one stage in my life, I felt like I knew exactly where I was going.
Mm-hmm.
I had a plan, and that was the plan. I was sticking to it. But unfortunately, life is always changing, and things that come up so unexpectedly that you would think that would never change something happens to change it, and now it's like you're back at square one.
Right.
And that's where I'm at right now. I'm back at square one, just in a different criteria, I guess. I don't even know what to call it. It just
And you wanna know what's funny? It's just I always thought also, I'm like, "Oh, it's because you're single." Once you get into a
oh
relationship,
God,
like, you're
no,
gonna feel different because it's gonna be like a joint venture and blah, blah,
nope,
blah, this and that, and you're
that's a
gonna find
lie.
your person. But it's funny, and I'm like, "No, that's not the thing."
Nope, it's not
And
that
and
either. You're not
honestly
missing much either.
and honestly, like, when it comes down to it, it's just like I've also become such an independent person
Mhm.
that it's like sometimes people bother me, like, so they just do.
Mhm.
So I don't know, you know. I mean, I'm sure he's out there. Hey, boo.
If you hear
It's
this
like
episode,
if you hear this episode, it's you. But I don't know. I don't know. From the beginning to end, I still don't
I
know
don't
who the
know.
hell
I
I am.
want to comment on that, but right now at this stage of my life, I'm not going to do that. I'm gonna save that for a different episode when certain circumstances in my life are.
Mm, mm.
But on that note, I'm gonna end it there because my daughter is
Yes.
now awake. And I need to go get my child.
Well, we love you guys, and if you stayed throughout this whole thing, this is pretty much how most of our conversations go.
You're the real MVP, and we appreciate you guys. And we will see you guys next week.
Bye bye.
Bye.